This is Informer News, your voice of the people. Welcome along, my friends, to another edition of the Informer News Nibiru Special Report Part 2. Coming up in this broadcast, more very important info regarding the coming Nibiru events. When will it arrive and how will it affect Earth? Plus, Cold War bunkers could be the place to be in the initial stages of this destructive event of the incoming harbinger of doom. The Voice of the People visited one of these bunkers and filmed the entire visit, which you are about to see. Okay, into this Nibiru Special Report Part 2. This first report is a Voice of the People statement. On Saturday, the 23rd of May 2016, the Voice of the People visited a former Royal Air Force Cold War bunker situated at Hompton near Withensea in the East Riding of Yorkshire. This former bunker has been restored to its former glory, and I'd advise anybody to make a visit to this incredible bunker. There is a ham radio operator monitoring global communications and talking to many people from around the planet. There are also two incredibly well-informed personnel on hand who will answer all your questions. These bunkers could be the place to be in the initial stages of the Nibiru event, so any potential survivalists should find the location of the nearest bunker to them, but make sure they are located on high ground. I fear the one I visited is too close to the coast to survive this coming event, as the anticipated global flooding Nibiru will cause due to the poles shifting as this destructive event starts will see the Hompton Cold War bunker sink below the North Sea as the coastline is engulfed by a massive tsunami that will head miles inland, submerging a large part of the UK. The Voice of the People. This next report is a continuation of the Nibiru Special Report I put out last month. This info originates from DiamondStarlightBeacon.com. The name given Planet X by Gil Bossard is Planet 7X, which is somewhat confusing. It is given this name to indicate it is 7 times the size of Earth, but why give Planet X a new designation? The modern designation for brown dwarf star is Planet X, to signify as yet unknown or unidentified celestial object, and is so named by the astronomical community. Gil Bossard claims that his Planet 7X Planet X has not been observed, which is not true, as Marshall Masters so astutely observes. How can you name an object by its size without first observing it to determine its size? Yes, indeed. Then along came Michael Brown of Caltech, who recently discovered Planet 9. Now we have yet another new name supposedly for the same object to confuse the issue. Michael Brown's Planet 9 is nothing more than a deliberate distraction, a means to deceive the minds of the astronomical community and the public at large. This Planet 9, which he says has not been observed, is in an orbit which will bring it nowhere near the inner solar system. It is being used to deliberately displace Planet X, so not to worry folks, it's way out there and won't be a threat, so go back to sleep. Meanwhile, the real Planet X, the brown dwarf, the nemesis Nibiru system, is now incoming and a very serious imminent threat to our civilization. Prophecy is about to come true. John Di Nardo notes, these ruling elite must deceive the populations, and to do so they must deceive for just a little longer the world astronomical community. Where is Planet X? For certain it is not way out past Pluto or in the vicinity of the Kuiper belt. Evidence of perturbation in the orbits of the outer planets of Uranus and Neptune started some years back and points to the fact something very large was disturbing this area of space below the ecliptic as it traversed the heavens. The next planets to have their orbits disturbed were Saturn and Jupiter. Saturn has had enormous storms and has had a tilt of axis, shifting more on its side and then somewhat right in itself. We have a video on our website that can be viewed that shows Jupiter in recent years, 2007 to 2012, has been pulled down in its orbit, signifying that the brown dwarf Planet X system is passing underneath somewhere between the orbits of Saturn and Jupiter. This is confirmed by Marshall Masters and other Planet X research findings. Our nemesis to come is not yet inside the orbit of Jupiter or in the inner solar system, as some have claimed. When will Planet X arrive? The internet trolls have been hyper and giving false dates for years. August 2012, August 2013, August 2014, and even August 2015, as well as other erroneous dates. These false dates and others have come and gone with nothing happening. Result: a distracted, desensitized and disillusioned public that soon loosens interest in the subject altogether, which is the purpose of it. We here at Diamond Star Research never give dates, only windows of likely passage times. As to the likely windows of passage, in our article Incoming, we quote Bart Sibrel of the Sleuth Journal as follows: I was first told about Planet X by a high-ranking source at NASA in or around 1989. They said that the planet was going to make a dangerously close approach to Earth in the second half of the second decade of the 21st century. In 1989, not one of my top concerns, because the planet is estimated to be 7 to 44 times bigger than the Earth. They said its dramatic gravitational effects would cause apocalyptic disasters upon the entire Earth. The planet is pitch black until it turns red as it nears our sun and nears the temperature of 0, requiring very specialized infrared satellites to be observed, which only the US government owns, having launched them specifically for this confidential purpose. This being the case, traditional astronomers will not be able to observe the planet until it is right upon us, with the exception of the Lucifer infrared telescope, owned by the Vatican Jesuit sect. Planet X Threat to Earth by Bart Sibrel, The Sleuth Journal, page 6, September the 23rd, 2013. So that puts the window of passage from 2015 to 2020. We have now entered that window. Earth axis shift, seismic and volcanic activity, as well as extreme weather. And more say the Nemesis Nibiru system is very near, being that this Planet X system is somewhere between the orbits of Saturn and Jupiter. It doesn't have far to go before it rises above the ecliptic, the plane of the planets, in the region of the asteroid belt, before it enters the inner solar system. However, the brown dwarf star at the heart of this system is now slowing down as it moves closer due to the magnetic resistance between its magnetic field and that of the Sun. This should buy us more time, but how much we don't know. Whistleblower Bob Dean puts the destroyer's arrival time approximately in 2017. 2017 is also indicated by Father Malachi Martin, who on the Art Bell Coast to Coast radio program in 1997 indicated that we may see this incoming celestial threat in about 20 years. See Vatican Secrets Exposed, January the 22nd, 2016, Part 1, 2, 3 and 4. To further back this up, Christian researcher of Planet X David Mead has discerned from correlating scientific findings with the Bible and has come up with 2017 as well. He states, here is a critical piece of information on its timing. A great sign appears in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. And being with child, she cried out in her travail, and was in anguish of delivery. Apoc 12:1-2. Mead goes on to say about this verse, the great sign of the woman, as described in Revelations 12:1-2, forms and lasts for only a few hours. According to computer-generated astronomical models, this sign has never before occurred in human history. It will occur once on September the 23rd, 2017. It will never occur again. When it occurs, it places the earth immediately before the time of the sixth seal of Revelations. During this time frame, on September the 23rd, 2017, the moon appears under the feet of the constellation Virgo. The sun appears to precisely clothe Virgo. Only the one that occurs in 2017 constitutes a birthing. This is when planets transverse within the legs of Virgo. Jupiter is birthed on 9/9/17. The 12 stars of that date include the 9 stars of Leo and 3 planetary alignments of Mercury, Venus and Mars, which combines to make a count of 12 stars on the head of Virgo. Thus the constellations Virgo, Leo, Serpens, Ophiuchus represents a unique once-in-a-century sign, exactly as depicted in the 12th chapter of Revelations. This is our time marker. The next event that follows is that Planet X will fully eclipse the Sun and cover the whole Earth, and full moon in shadow on the next full moon date. This is Thursday, October the 6th, 2017. The following full moon date. Our clue that this is the date is from Revelations chapter 6 verse 12. I watched as he opened the sixth seal. There was a great earthquake. The sun turned black like sackcloth made of goat hair. The whole moon turned blood red. Revelation 6:12. The sign of the red dragon, Planet X, appears in heaven immediately after the sign of the woman. Planet X is visible during this total solar eclipse, as the following verse indicates. Then another sign appears in heaven, an enormous red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns on its head. Revelations 12:3. The book of Revelations is a cryptogram set by the Almighty, and it is solvable according to the book of Daniel at the very end of time. The mystery of the timing of the arrival of Planet X is hidden in plain sight and right before us. The revelation sign of Planet X in 2017 by David Mead, Planet X News. Thus, David Mead concludes, I believe there is a high amount of evidence that Planet X reaches perihelion will occur in early October of 2017. There is scientific evidence that supports that timeline as well. The Impact Threat of Planet X Nibiru by David Mead, Planet X News website. There have been others that have indicated a tight window of 2017 to 2018. We also know that 2017 is right in the middle of the 2015 to 2020 window indicated by insider sources in 1989. Furthermore, we know the New World Order forces want the Mark of the Beast system in place and ready to go by 2017. Church developments in preparing a world church are nearing completion as the world's elites are finalizing plans to go into their underground sanctuaries. Looking at axis tilt, earth changes and more indicates the time for passage is getting ripe. We want to point out one more interesting fact. The September the 23rd date mentioned by Meade should ring a bell with the readers, especially those who have followed the climate chaos cry wolf predictions that something big was going to happen around this date in 2015. Well, of course it didn't. It was a red herring to disillusion the people. However, as one researcher or more has pointed out and gave evidence to the fact that the date 9/23 has been embedded in all kinds of advertisements, predictive programs and more, indicating this number means something to the elite. What it signifies to them, we don't know for sure. Could it be the arrival of the Planet X system into our inner solar system and the very beginning of our coming tribulations? To view the full transcript, go to my website endtimes23.com, where I've posted the link. There's a live link to my website near the end of this video. Okay, my friends, you're all invited to join this channel by subscribing to endtimes23, which is a totally free subscription service. You're also invited to add me as a friend on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and join my Google Plus timeline. All this month's news links can be found on my website endtimes23.com. There's a live link near the end of this video. Well, that's your lot for this month's Informer News special report. I'll be back with you in a month's time. So until then, this is your Informer signing off. Friends, I'll see you on the flip side. On Saturday the 23rd of May 2016, the Voice of the People visited a former Royal Air Force co-war bunker situated at Hompton near Withensea in the East Riding of Yorkshire. This former bunker has been restored to its former glory, and I'd advise anybody to make a visit to this incredible bunker. Could be the place to be in the initial stages of this destructive event of the incoming harbinger of doom. The Voice of the People visited one of these bunkers and filmed the entire visit, which you are about to see. Okay, into this Nibiru special report Part 2. This first report is a Voice of the People statement. This is Informer News, your voice of the people. Welcome along, my friends, to another edition of the Informer News Nibiru Special Report Part 2. Coming up in this broadcast, more very important info regarding the coming Nibiru events. When will it arrive and how will it affect Earth? Plus, Cold War bunker. There is a ham radio operator monitoring global communications and talking to many people from around the planet. There are also two incredibly well-informed personnel on hand who will answer all your questions. These bunkers could be the place to be in the initial stages of the Nibiru event, so any